It is great to have you here. It is cold outside. I know you changed into a warmer outfit, so did I.
Yeah.
But yeah, great to have you on 22-minute talks. So please tell us where you're from, who you are, where you're from.
Thank you, Reinhard, for having me here. Luntu Masiza. I was born in Pietermaritzburg. It's a small town just outside Durban. That's where I was born, but I also stayed in the Eastern Cape as well. So the first 10 years of my life, I stayed between Pietermaritzburg and the Eastern Cape. So I moved to the Eastern Cape, I think it was around 98, just to stay there with my uncle whilst my mom was studying.
Okay, cool. And then I'm going to bring some pictures up, not to embarrass you, but because you're such a cool guy. So let's just do a little bit of a screen share here. And this was you when you were like a little boy, right?
Yeah, that's me. That's
you. Cool. And okay, but then you guys moved to London, right?
Yeah. So
when was that?
I moved to Birmingham specifically in England.
Birmingham, yeah.
Birmingham in 2001. My mom got a job in the UK in 2000, Scotland, and then she moved to Birmingham. And then I joined a year later. It was an interesting time. I think when I left there, I left with so much innocence. I just wanted to be with my mom, just like
sweet. And how was that early years in Birmingham?
Birmingham. Wow, I think my first experience of Birmingham, man, it was so cold. It was really, really freezing. And I remember one time I literally walked outside and it was snowing and I had shorts and sandals on. And then I saw this English bloke, his name is Daniel, became a really good friend of mine. He goes, "Are you not cold?" I was like, me, I'm enjoying the snow.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. But you also told me about, and I'm sharing this again because I think they are so funny. I mean, you told me about trying to fit in, and when you shared these pictures with me, where I have to find them, they are funny. No, these are the cool ones. I'll find them. Don't worry. Just hang on a second.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they are. Here you are. Here's the cool dude coming up just now. That's him. That's the cool man. So tell me about, trying sort of, because we had this conversation a bit yesterday, a day or two before, fitting in. So how's that years? I mean, was it easy? Was it difficult? Tell me about it.
It was interesting, Reinhard, because I had come from South Africa where it was very quiet and we kind of learned how to respect our elders. There was a sense of respect. And when I arrived there in the UK, I think one of the culture shocks for me was that I saw young people talking to teachers anyhow, talking to their parents anyhow, and they would get away with it. And it was almost like, wow, it looks so cool as a kid. So I think it was about, and I'm like, you know what? I think we all want this in life. We all want to feel a part of something and accepted in some way or somewhere or the other. And I remember in class looking at my friends, messing around. I was like, you know what? I also want to be cool. I also want some attention as well. And then you find yourself, your behavior changing slowly because you also want to make a statement for yourself, so that people can respect you, so that people can say, yeah, he's a cool guy. And of course, you don't realize it. It kind of changes your character and your behavior at home. It has an influence on you, on your thought process as a young person. It was a tough time. Also, at the time, it wasn't cool to be African. So you can be Jamaican, it was good. You could be from anywhere else, but if you were African, girls had no interest in you whatsoever. So we had to make a statement in other ways,
Yeah, you had to stand out. Okay, but you told me, then you went to your mom got a job in London, right? And so you moved at some stage from Birmingham to London, and then the school also changed, or how did that go about?
So after living in Birmingham for about 10 years, we at some point I had left those friends and I started focusing my energy in my studies, and just doing things which were positive, in my life and involving in communities. And I got really good grades in college. And then now I was supposed to go drama schools. And then the issues of immigration and having immigration status and becoming an overstayer, that, really conflicted with me, with my studies, or I'm wanting to go to university. My mom not able to work. We became homeless, and then, I'm staying around with friends. My mom decided to move to London and stay with her friend because then she wouldn't have to pay rent. There was a commitment for her. I stayed in Birmingham a bit longer. At some point, my mom was able to get a job, and then I was able to move to London and join her there. And she was able to kind of pay for rent for me whilst, I was trying to make means happen for myself as well because of the immigration.
But first tell me about, I remember we had this story where you told when you got to England and you get put in the F class, the lowest performing class for maths and English, and how you had to work through that and to get into a great art school. And so please tell me a little bit about that, because I think there's some great lessons to learn for people in that. I think some people it's like, hey, I'm a victim, I'm never going to get out there, but you didn't. So I would like to hear that story too.
Absolutely. I think for me it was interesting because, like I said, I was never an academic person. I've never seen myself as an academic person. I've always academic, no. And so we were in the lowest classes, lowest grades for English, for maths, for science, you name it. And the only thing that I really found passionate and I thought I was good at the time was performing arts. Even that, it was almost like was a mistake, Reinhard. We were choosing my options. It's like matric. What subject do you want to specialize in school? And I was like, and then my teacher was giving us this option and they said, performing art. I was like, oh my gosh, performing art. That means I'll never have to read. That means I'll never have to write. I'll just be drawing the whole day in class. Great, let's do that. And I remember walking into that class for the first time. It was actually performing art. People had scripts and they were reading up loud. I was like, what is happening?
You had to read.
I had to read. I was like, wow, what is happening? And then, you know what? I gave it a try. And I fell in love with performing arts and telling stories and engaging with audiences. And that's when I felt my first acceptance and my first love, where I could express myself and not have to worry about anyone or what they think or say about me. And that was a place of empowerment. I was like, wow, I'm loving this. And people will tell you, oh, you're good, you're great. And I'm like, okay, I'm good, I'm great. And I think once I embraced that greatness, I really flourished with it. And I committed myself to it.
Yeah, I want to share, I want to show the people some of the cool pics here. Let me do a screen share. And so where are we? We're in London and I need to get closer. Oh, here's your friend, right? That's your friend in London. And so this was the art school, right? This was performing arts.
So this particular friend, so when I moved from Birmingham and then I went to London, came across my friend here, Obakori Jakpo, Nigerian guy.
Yeah.
He was very entrepreneurship mindset he had.
Yeah.
And we would wake up every morning, we would learn and teach ourselves. No school taught us, we'd learn and teach ourselves, learn about filming, editing, we'll learn about all different type of things. We'll write scripts and then we'll go and shoot them for ourselves,
Wow.
And he was just really inspiring. That kind of fed my own personal dream in a sense, because I couldn't go to drama school because of my immigration papers. And that was like the only thing that kind of had a determination for myself and feed my own dream. And wow.
But that was, I mean, that was the start of it. And I think that's the big thing. You know, you didn't start school well. Maybe the friends wasn't the best, but you changed and you used the opportunities, and you then started to engage with cool friends, the right cool friends, you know, that gave you creative energy in a positive direction. But okay, before you actually then studied at university, the drama, there was the conversation with your mom in London, and I would like you to share that. I think because that was really special. Yeah, let's talk a bit about that, because that led you moving back to South Africa, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what happened is that, you know, Reinhard, after 4 years fighting for my immigration papers in the UK, and then constantly being rejected by the system, I felt so dehumanized, and also just seeing my mom not being able to work, not able to provide for herself, the basic needs for herself, and her sleeping on the floor in a church, that really brought a lot of pain to me. As a child, it's almost seeing your superhero breaking down, and seeing that image and almost seeing her face is almost peeling off because of depression, of
sure,
you know, crisis of life. And I remember looking into her eyes, and I could see that she was not herself. And I asked her, "Mom, are you okay?" And then she smiled at me, and then she's like, "Yes, Luntu, I'm fine." But looking through her eyes, I could see she was not fine. And I said to myself, there is no way I am going back home, because, you know, I'd rather sacrifice England. I'd rather sacrifice everything that I've accomplished, or whatever, the life that I have here in the UK, and go back to South Africa in order to see my mom being empowered again. And I knew that was the right step to do. So there was a charity organization that was supporting me at the time called Kids Company, and they were helping vulnerable kids across London. And then I had a meeting with the CEO, and I told her, "Look, I'm going back to South Africa." And then they were like, "Okay, what are you going to do?" And I told them, "Look, I've looked up the film schools in South Africa, and this is the one I want to go to. I want to go to AFDA." And they said, "Okay, we'll support you, Luntu. We'll support your dreams, because we can see that you're passionate. We can see that you're committed, and therefore we're ready to do anything." And that was my defining moment to come back to South Africa.
But that, I mean, two things. I think, Luntu, very, you know, at your young age in London, very mature to realize that you know, your mom needs you now to say, "Hey, Mom, you know, it's time that we look after you, you know, and do the right decision for you." And I think that's really awesome, you know. And but I mean, it turned out great, you know. So just you didn't just go to the film school; you flourished. I mean, here you at the film school. And not only did you do some stuff, oh no, I'm one picture too fast. I don't want to spoil it here. There was, okay, here you got the Fleur Du Cup award. What was that for?
So coming back to South Africa, I went to AFDA, and I worked myself off. I worked my socks off at AFDA. I made sure I was focused. I made sure I was committed to my studies. I had the right lectures. And then, you know, in 2017, the end of 2017, I got nominated for Fleur Du Cup for Best Promising Student within the Western Cape. And I was the first student from AFDA, me and another young lady. We were the first ones to ever be nominated, you know, for that category, for Best Promising Student in the Western Cape, you know, which was really like, wow, already. And then I won the award for Most Promising Student in the Western Cape.
Awesome. And you graduated. I mean, where's the picture of your graduation? Let me see, where your mom is also there. Oh, this is so cool. It must have been great to have had your mother there too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, there are moments that we can't relive, and you know, they meant so much to us. And that for me, having my mom there, having known how much sacrifices she'd done for me, and having to honor her and say, you know, this is for you, and having her wearing her own graduation gown, I think, sure, it was the most liberating moment to say, this is why we came back home.
Excellent. But the best is yet to come, right? Because out of that, I'm going to just put on the two images here. So there's this one here, right? And then which was followed by this one here. Now tell us about that.
Yeah, so after, you know, my graduation, that month I was going to perform in Czech Republic. And that's where I was performing a production called The Island by Arthur Fugard, John Kanye, and Winston Shona. And
that was in Prague, right? In the Czech Republic.
Yeah, in Czech Republic, in Brno.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which was incredible. And then there was 12 different schools from across the world, and we were the only ones from Africa representing. And you know, I won the award for best performer in the festival. So you have the director of the festival choosing one particular performer that moved him, that he really enjoyed, and I was that person, and it was a real honor. And I mean, you had big schools from, you know, Russia, Poland, England, you name it, Scotland. You know, it was a huge festival.
Wow. And but what came with the reward?
No, the award itself, that just came on its own, but then the great opportunity of this festival, we had networks, you had all these different schools, and then RADA approached me, one of the guy who runs the course at RADA. He said, listen, Luntu, we've got a master's program. He said, 1 year. Will be great if you could come in, you know, and be part of this program. We think you and your co-star Sia Mayola would have a great impact in this course. And I said, okay, cool. And then I applied for it, and then I went to audition for RADA, and then I got a place confirmed the following day after my audition.
Now, Luntu, you gotta tell us, because there's people like me, you know, go RADA, is that a watch again? So RADA is cool. So you gotta first tell people, what is RADA?
RADA is the Royal Academy Dramatic of Arts. It is in the top 5 drama schools in the world. Really incredible. There's a lot of artists who have been there. Like, one of them I look up to is Ngugu Mbatu. She's an amazing actress, you know, so many, you know.
Awesome. And that's gonna happen January next year, first, because we had now COVID in between, right?
Yeah, so I was supposed to start this year, September, but then they've moved the course to January next year, 2021. And it's going to be a 1-year program, and really focusing on empowering the artists themselves and finding their voice and telling their own stories, and working with ensemble with people from all around the world, which is going to be an incredible experience.
Okay. But, and this is the cool thing I like, I'm going to put on the last 2 pictures here for people to see, is obviously RADA isn't for free. People think, oh, great, this is for free. So, but I mean, I nearly fell on my back when you told me yesterday, what was something like £32,000, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it is a great honor to get in, but you still need to pay, you know. So and you turned entrepreneur. Here we see you, you know, working with the petrol company engine and businessman, actor, you know. So yeah, please tell us, because you're busy getting funds together. I know you have a crowdfunding campaign, but hey, you're not sitting at home and waiting for things to happen. You make it happen. And
Absolutely.
I just love how you used your skills as an actor in the corporate world. I mean, I saw the videos of your work, your workshops, and the action and the people and their voices. And, you know, the people were totally engaged, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the picture now, you're talking to the audience, but I mean, I wish we could show the videos as they practice these skills. And it was really just awesome to see what you do. And but what I liked and what fascinated me about you is your entrepreneurship skills. But not just that, there's a lot of people that says, well, I'm an actor, you know, I'm going to wait till something happens. But
Yeah.
you're not like, yes, you're an actor and you're a brilliant actor. We've seen the awards. But I mean, okay, now I need to wait till January. I need to get some funding going. And yes, I have the crowdfund. And please, people who watch the video, contribute. You know, we want to get you there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is, you've got to live life. You've got to take initiative. You've got to. And I think for me, acting itself also has given me that tool. You know, you've got to take initiative. When you're on stage and things go wrong on stage, you don't stop and say, audience, wait, something went wrong. No, the show goes on. And how do you maneuver and, you know, and come up with new answers and keep going, you know? And that is life itself. That is a metaphor for life. You know, how do we shift and adapt to new situations always?
Well, Luntu, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed spending this time to you. And what a great guy and what a great story.
Thank you, Reinhard. Thank you for the opportunity to share. Sometimes we've got to look back where we come from in order to even appreciate it even more. And this is a great platform for that. Thank you.